Working from home over the last couple of months has presented a lot of different challenges for many of us, especially for those of us that have not been used to working from home. Just trying to find a quiet space, a suitable space, and a comfortable space to set up your workstation has been a challenge for a lot of us. And I think over the last couple of months, a lot of people are experimenting with what works for them, trialing different things. And I'm hearing from a lot of people that they're trialing a standing workstation. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about today, standing workstations. Trassa here from Natural Back Health. Let's learn a little bit more about these type of alternative working stations. So for those of you that are transitioning to it or trialing it at the moment, my first question is, where exactly have you chosen to set up your standing workstation? Is it in the kitchen, at the kitchen counter, at the dining room table, bedroom, office? And then more specifically, what exactly are you standing on? Are you standing on kitchen tiles, wooden floors, rug, carpet, more concrete type of floor? So some of those floors, the concrete, the wooden boards, wooden floor, or kitchen tiles, they're a much harder surface. There's much less give in them, and they're much less forgiving on the body. So if you've been at a sitting desk for the last 10 years, 20 years, and now you're starting to transition into that standing desk, it's going to be a new challenge on your body, new information on your body to stand for a couple of hours. And if you're standing on a more unforgiving surface, that can be harder on the body. So there's these really cool things called anti-fatigue mats, and they're basically something squidgy and soft to make that surface between your feet and the floor a little bit more forgiving. Now, if you're at the stage where you are just figuring it out, do I like a standing workstation? Yeah, let's see about this. What I can suggest to you is potentially using a homemade version or a DIY anti-fatigue mat. So this is my DIY homemade anti-fatigue mat. This is an old yoga mat, which is pretty much at the end of its life, but it's getting a little bit of a reuse. As I fold it up, you can see I've folded it up, and I'm going to plonk that down wherever I'm standing at my standing workstation, and that just gives me that little bit of cushioning between me and that hard surface that I'm standing on. And what I like about the old yoga mat is it's got that bit of an anti-slip quality to the material. So lots of people will suggest, oh, you can fold up an old towel, you can fold up an old blanket or old cushions. But what I would be wary of on that one is if you're putting an old towel or an old cushion on like a slippy wooden floor or slippy tiles, you might be halfway through a Zoom call and go flying. So there's a little bit more of an anti-slip quality to this. Now, as always with any of these things, once you're finished using them, you fold them up and put them out of the way so no one else or yourself trips over them. But it is, even with the anti-fatigue mat, you would do that. But if you're just learning about the standing desk, or you're only spending a portion of your week in a standing desk, trying a DIY version, trying a homemade version, figuring out, yeah, this suits me, and then maybe in future months you can say, well, okay, I'll invest in an anti-fatigue mat. And there's lots of different types of anti-fatigue mats out there, so it's good to trial stuff first and figure it out if it's for you. Then the other thing about the standing desk is the opportunity to move, which is really great, because whether you're sitting all day or standing all day, what you don't want it for it to be just completely still. You're sitting for 8 hours at the desk and you don't move a muscle apart from typing. You're standing at the desk all day and you don't move a muscle apart from typing. You need to bring movement and be a little bit more dynamic in the day. So when you're at a standing desk, you've loads of opportunity to wriggle your ankles, stretch your toes, squeeze your toes, stretch your calves. All of that kind of thing is great for bringing movement into your day and not being so still and static. Also, when you're standing all day, and if you speak to anyone that works in retail or is on their feet all day, like a chef or a nurse or someone working in a factory style work, they're on their feet. So they'll tell you straight away about being on their feet and what that does for their circulation and veins and varicose veins. So that's another reason to move your feet, move your legs, and get that circulation moving and support good circulation. Then the other thing with a standing desk is not to forget about your posture when you're using it. Just because you've stood up now, it's not kind of the answer to all your problems. You still need to engage with your posture. Check how your shoulders are. Have they gone up around here and have you gotten really tense? Are you slumped forward, rounding your shoulders? What's going on with your posture? So it still applies when you're standing. Tuning in, engaging and saying, okay, how is my posture? Do I need to stand differently? What do I need to do? It's still important sitting or standing. So that's another aspect to check in with. Okay, so they are my little suggestions for improving your experience at a standing workstation. The anti-fatigue mat, whether you go with a homemade version or whether you go out and buy one, if you're like, yeah, I really love this standing desk, I want to get it all set up for me. Then the opportunity for movement, stretching your calves, wriggling your toes, all that kind of good stuff. And then keeping an eye, continuing to engage with your posture and check throughout the day, what am I doing, how am I standing, and keep working on improving it. And it can take time. When you start working with the standing desk, the word is transition, to not go for that cold turkey of like, okay, I've been sitting at a desk for the last 20 years and now tomorrow I'm going to just jump into 8 hours a day at a standing desk. Transition slowly. Maybe you start with 1 hour a day and then you build up to every morning I'll spend the morning standing. But it definitely needs to be a transition, something that you get used to, and your muscles, your joints, everything builds up the stamina to stand at a standing desk. Okay guys, I hope you find those tips useful. If you have any tips that you have found that's really worked for you and helped you at a standing desk, please do share them. Love to hear how you're finding a standing desk or any alternative that you've tried for working from home. Do share with us. And yeah, if you have any questions regarding this, please do get in contact and I will do my very best to answer them. All right guys, have a lovely rest of your day.